Brock with Straight Line Delivery here. I'm making this video to show you the difference in driving a truck for somebody else and driving a truck for yourself, being your own boss. Whether you have your own trucking company or you're leased onto somebody else. And this example is going to show what it's like to work for a trucking company like mine with a 40-foot hot shot or larger, even up to semi. On this side, and I hope this is coming through, but this is a W-2 employee. This means you work for somebody else. If you're making $75,000 a year, $15,000 of that is going to be taxes. Okay, that means you have a $60,000 net to live off of. That's $11.53 a week, or $5,000 a month, roughly. If you've got a $500 car payment, $50 for your cell phone, and then $100 for your car insurance, that's all coming out post-tax. That'll leave you $52,200 to pay your mortgage, pay other bills on. Okay, but in my experience, that has been it. That's it. That's all I get, and that gets sucked up and it's gone in ways most people can't even imagine. It's just gone, and they don't ever have an opportunity to save money. Every time I talk to a farmer, I remember they've got a brand new truck, a new tractor, a nice house, and I say, how much money do you make? And they say, well, what do I make? Nothing. What they mean is they're their own businessman. They own their own business. So a lot of that cost is absorbed into finances, and it's financing like equipment. It's a shell game almost, but it's completely legal. And this is what my accountant and I worked out, and this is how I started my business, and it's been a model that's worked for me really, really well. So if you're 1099 self-employed, all right, you are going to make more money, but you're going to have more expenditures. Everybody knows that. You get paid more, but you pay out more too, because you're supplying the truck, you're supplying the trailer and the fuel, all that. So everybody understands that. So an example would be $144,000 a year made for yourself, being self-employed, at $3,000 a week. That's $12,000 a month. Now in this example, both of these guys work roughly the same amount of weeks a year, let's say. Actually, this guy can take off, the self-employed guy can take off more time if he plays his cards right. But that's another video. All right, so you start a business this year. You buy a truck and trailer for $90,000. All right, that's 100% write-off. So that 90% is equipment that is needed for the job, and that is tax deductible at 100%. All right, $50,000 for fuel and maintenance. That is a 100% tax write-off. All right, so when you make $144,000, that's what you receive in your pocket before any taxes. You should have saved back about 20%. Just like in the other example, when you're an employee, they're going to take 20% out of your check. In this example, it's your job to save back 20%. All right. The difference is with being an employee and being self-employed and having your own company is this. When you're an employee of somebody else, and you're making $50,000 a year in your pocket after your main expenditures, there's just not a whole lot of money left over to save. With this, you get a bump your very first year in business, your very first year, and every year that you buy equipment, you made $144,000, $90,000 went to the truck and trailer, but that $90,000 didn't come out of your pocket just like that. The $90,000 is worked into monthly payments of about $1,500 a month, okay? The $28,800 in this example at 20% of $144,000 that you have saved back, with $90,000 in truck and trailer and $50,000 in fuel and maintenance, that's $140,000. So on tax paper, you spent all your money. You didn't make any money. So your tax liability will be on $4,000. You get to keep $28,800 in your pocket. That is money that is yours to use for when this truck breaks 2 or 3 years down the line, and it will. But that amount of money, that amount of cash will finance a whole lot of transmissions, motors, tires, and anything else that you run into. That's yours to keep. In an example where you're working for somebody else, there's never a point in time where you're going to have $28,000-$30,000 in the bank. It just doesn't happen. That's why for me, there's no other option but to work for myself. Now, again, I'll always give anyone who listens this advice. Don't listen to me. I'm just some guy on the internet. Go talk to an accountant. Ask him if what I'm saying is true. See if the numbers jive, and then make the decision for yourself. But this is a method that I have learned to use and that I have used for the past 10 years, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Thanks for your time.